Like a Chinese, they will understand Confucianism, they never follow Confucianism the same. Confucianism is they try to change the organization, revolution, right? More target goal, but they never follow Confucianism. Okay, this is the same. The critical thinking the same.
Well, in our
era, the Tokugawa is the shogunate forced them to study Confucianism, but get into the Meiji era, they force them to throw them away.
Right.
So now is they try to nobody consider for the long range human resource training sort of things, you know, the long range strategic concept. So this is the same thing. It's almost impossible to force them to about critical thinking or Toyota success. Toyota is critical thinking for small bit.
Right. Constant improvement.
Small improvement, right? And accumulating small improvement based on critical thinking.
Right.
But not large critical thinking.
Exactly.
So what we are thinking about for this critical thinking?
What we are thinking about, there's a difference between Japan and between Europe. And I think that critical thinking will actually encourage people to not just follow their boss. Because if your boss is what your boss is saying and what your boss is doing is doesn't fit into your own opinion and ideas, then you might question your boss. And actually, if there are enough people who question the boss, they might form a movement.
More clear, concrete. My message is for some company. Just I prepared proposal. And overseas company subsidiaries and headquarters have communication loss.
Right.
And we try to improve their communication, miscommunication among both organizations. But nobody, they don't want to touch it.
Right.
It's one example. This is if you're going to critical thinking approach, they should do something for that.
So actually, Uno-san, by the way, sorry, this is a little bit off topic or actually on topic. How would you actually sell yourself as a crisis manager, as somebody who is actually going to make some decisions where needed?
What do you mean crisis manager?
Well, if there is a difficult situation, if nobody wants to touch it, if there is, some strong hand is needed to make a change. Otherwise, the company will fail.
Japanese company has a crisis manager?
No, I don't think they do.
You mean crisis manager? If current situation going on?
Nobody. So there's a lot of places in Japan that nobody wants to touch.
My question is: current situation going on, you will going to get into crisis, right?
Yes.
This is where you need to avoid kind of crisis. You need to improve something, right?
Or there is a crisis. There is a big distrust between Group A and Group B in the company, and we cannot resolve it. Someone needs to come in and say, okay, well, this is where we go.
What is the definition of crisis management?
Crisis management is basically somebody who takes it under control. So you have managers who are very good in growing an organization or managing an organization and keep everybody aligned. But there are also situations where the company is almost bankrupting, or when there is a big power struggle going on, or there is maybe a hostile takeover that is going to happen. At that point, somebody the managers that are good in growing your organization are not automatically adopted to.
You mean they are going to propose crisis management?
If companies are actually in a difficult situation and they need to act, and I don't think that there are many people in Japan who dare to do this, and it's very good for people who are there only for a year maybe or half a year, but somebody who can step in, who doesn't risk his entire career, but because that's what he's in for. So who is willing to get his hands dirty and then step out?
Good. Let's do it next Saturday, crisis management.
Okay.
You're going to teach me something for me.
Okay.
Right?
I know a guy in the Netherlands who actually, he was a friend of my father. I was too young to actually know exactly, but he was really tough. But that's why people hired him. But after the situation was under control, he would never stay there, because that was not his management style.
Actually, my most difficulty to get involved in advisor I don't have a special skill to sell them.
I think you would be a good crisis manager.
Yeah, so next Saturday, why don't you explain to me?
Okay.
I don't know in detail what it is, right?
Right.
Oh my God! Last night I slept midnight and wake up at 5 this morning. My head is very big. But anyway, we completed today.
Right.
Unfortunately, software recording doesn't work.
I think